Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? I'm so grateful to be back again this week for everybody. So let's have just a little chat before we get some callers on. So we're going to do some Akashic readings tonight, and this is coming up more and more around my awareness. So I just want to share a little bit about what kind of the Akashic is, if you've never heard it before. So your Akashic is like every lifetime you've ever been here, every word you've ever said. It allows us to take a peek into our past where the karmic energy sits, and see where that transpires in this lifetime. So for a lot of people, they'll come to me and say, okay, I want to heal this, this, and this. And usually it's not even from this lifetime. And a lot of people just don't understand how that transpires and how that works, because instantaneously they'll feel better. So how it kind of works is, if you come to this planet before your ancestors leave, and we don't necessarily bring in their energy, but if they've left before you come here, most of the time you bring in their energy of karmic energy of what's happened to them. So here's just some of the things that I've seen through people, like war wounds from their grandparents will affect their bodies. War wounds from best friends, they'll come back and they'll still have that same injury, and then we heal it and it's gone. You'll have things like, your parents stabbed you in the back in a past life and killed you. And in this life, it just feels like you're crippled from all like the judgment, the fear, just things that people will say to you and you hold as truth. As soon as we heal that from the past life and bring it into this life, you don't feel bad anymore. Actually just finished teaching Akashic to one young lady that I know who lives up in Alberta. And, she got to heal her ex-husband. She got to heal her family members who were struggling. And the nice thing about it is they don't have to come back with any of it. But the other bonus is that you don't have to hold on to it either, right? Our children, it's not 13 generations back. You're bringing the same illnesses and stuff your grandparents had into your children. It's done. As soon as you heal it through you, the kids are healed, right? And I know it seems like a fantasy and it's weird and all this stuff. It is 100% true. I have seen so many people like miraculously heal their bodies just from one session in the Akashic. For most, it's more than one. But, to be able to have that, the outlook of that is totally amazing, because you never know what it's related to. I'll also have people who come in for a session or a reading and they'll say, I have this illness. Go find it in my Akashic and heal it. And I'm like, up until like a certain time, most of the illnesses that we describe didn't even exist back then. So people will say, I had Hashimoto's. And I'm like, well, you didn't, because it's not there. It doesn't exist. So then we have to find different trigger words to convey what it is we're looking for. And usually we can pinpoint where certain things come from. A lot of people will come with like relationship issues between mom and dad or children and mom. Those can all be healed and transformed within the Akashic records. And it makes it so that it is more manageable, right? The relationships heal and shift themselves after we do sessions. And a lot of people are turning to this stuff because they don't want to bring that stuff with them anymore, right? And once we head into 5D, it's nice to have that Akashic cleared out so this karmic energy stops interfering with our lives. And once we get to the 5D, we no longer have to pass over because our bodies are then crystalline, right? So the more that we can dig into the Akashic and bring all that stuff forward and heal it, the better your body is, right? I've done all of my healing work within the Akashic. I just use it as a tool now to teach, and I also use it as a tool for myself. So let's bring Kate in. Hey, Kate, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing okay. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. So we're going to do some Akashic readings tonight. So they're past, present, and future. So is there anything you'd like to look at from past lives that kind of is an issue in this life so far? And we can see where it lines up, and then we can do some healing in there.
You said you would like to start in past life, or were you asking me?
Yeah, we can start wherever. What's a question that you kind of have? Is there something going on in your life that you want to heal, or something doesn't jive? Is there stuff going on in your body?
Yeah, there definitely is. And thanks for, I said yes, there definitely is. And thanks for having me today. I am having more of a serious issue. I am having difficulty with stalking. It has been really hard on me. It has been happening off and on for several years now. It's been very difficult to deal with law enforcement. They haven't really been able to do anything about it. I've also had issues with mistaken identity, and my information was stolen. Um, I'm not, I don't know really what is happening to me. I was wondering if you can pick up anything around this information
Yeah,
or
they're showing me a couple of
situation.
past lives. Actually. Let me just dive in because they're showing me two past lives where it became more serious than just the stalking. Does it feel like it's escalating?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're showing 1691. There was a gentleman who followed you home. It looked like you were at a market and this gentleman was following you home. You had two young children with you and you were pregnant with another. And it just feels like this person had an infatuation with you. You looked very similar to his wife because they're showing me a picture on a table of his wife. You looked very similar. So there's a chemical imbalance going on in his head where he feels justified to come to you and take what's his. He feels like you have his ring when your ring is on your finger from your husband. So definitely mistaken identity, 100%. He did rape you as well. And I feel like in you, it heightens a lot of things in this lifetime where it's like things escalate and then you fear and then you bring it in closer and then you try and shield and protect certain things so that it keeps you safe. And it feels like everything is escalating and becoming out of control for you. So I'm just going to do a quick healing in there and we'll dissolve whatever that is going on with him. There's a lot of stuff going on in around your throat too, where to speak and how to speak up about it, because it doesn't feel like anybody is listening to you when you say things around this. They push it off or dismiss you like it's nothing.
Uh, yes, I would say that is true.
Yeah. Does your family believe you? I feel like there's a male in your family, like if you were to tell him something, he'd be like, oh, you're just making it up.
Yes, my family has always been like that, and I don't live too close to them. I live in the same state as them, but not that close, and I haven't brought it up to them. I don't think they really fully know what's going on to me, nor do I want to put them in danger. So I just kind of been dealing with this on my own the best I can, still trying to find some sort of help or assistance with it, or just trying to get some sort of resolution or just get it stopped.
Yeah, I see the gentleman. There's a lot of stuff going on in around your throat here. There was a knife wound to your throat, like directly in here by the carotid artery.
Yeah, I definitely have been having some issues with my throat the past few months, and I really don't know why. I've tried to. I thought maybe my throat chakra. I've been trying to do healing around it, but I have been having issues in my throat. Yes.
It should feel much better right now. I'm just going to do that healing in that past life there, and we'll transform it so that it'll stop. Okay, that one's done. I just want to bring in the other one because I really like to just get them all sorted and healed so that it can stop. Um,
Thank you very much. I definitely could feel that. I feel almost like if I had like a rope or something tied around me, like it was just cut off. Very subtle, but I definitely can still notice it.
yeah, it almost feels like you can actually swallow now. Like this is all closed, this is all healed, this knife wound is all healed. Anything that was on your body with him coming after you to kill you is all done. So that's all healed. It's actually just healing the other lifetime all by itself. So I'm just watching it. It almost feels like your husband tried to attack you, but he came up behind you. I almost feel like he had a concussion, so he didn't really know who he was, kind of out of sorts. And I feel like he attacked you from behind. Um, so it feels like you're always kind of looking over your shoulder, like what's next, who's next, what's going to happen. A little bit of walking on eggshells, a little bit of nervousness where you pull back your energy instead of allowing like the love to go out. You really just conceal it to yourself. And it feels like lack of breath. So it feels like someone is kind of choking you from behind. So we'll just release all of that and just help him to understand that. Wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely a thing here about speaking truth to the people around you, especially husband or boyfriend or partner. I also feel mom is here trying to protect you, whether she's in spirit or past in Akashic, that doesn't really matter. But I feel like mom is standing here in that past life saying, it's okay, you're stronger than when you think, like you can beat this, you can speak the truth.
Well, because of the stalking, it's been off and on for years, and I've tried to cope with it and deal with it in different ways, including ignoring it. At this point, a lot of times it's like somebody is having me watched, or somebody is keeping tabs on me, or literally having me followed, which is, obvious. Sometimes when you're being watched or followed, you can obviously tell, but to prove that to the police is a problem. I mean, I had all other signs of stalking: phone calls, a confrontation. Um, I had somebody attempting to attack me in my vehicle. This has been an off and on thing for years. But I'm wondering, do you know why this is like? Do you pick up on this person at all, or why they're doing this to me?
I actually picked up a neighbor two doors down. Same thing. It's infatuation. It's like you remind them of somebody else, and they're automatically drawn to you. You also need to protect your energy, is what they're showing me too. Like if you do any kind of healing work, especially right now, like the veil is so freaking thin right now that you need to make sure that you're protected all the time. Get your energy bubbled up, ground at the end of the day, disconnect from every single person you meet. Because what's happening is as you raise your vibration, more people want to come to you, right? And when they want to come to you, it's like they're stealing a little part of yourself. And until you understand how to manage that and keep your parts of yourself whole, it drains you. And this is what's happening. You're being drawn to so many people, and they're just stealing that energy away from you. But it feels like a neighbor two doors down was watching you for a little bit, and same thing. It just feels like there's another male, and then there's somebody else. Like I feel like when you go grocery shopping, there's like a guy that's usually always there just shortly after you walks in, and they're like keeping pace with what you do. Start changing up your times of when you go out and do things. I'm gonna do a change. I'm gonna do a change on your whole. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's funny that you say that, because I have had trouble, I guess, with people, like you're saying, I guess some sort of infatuation, and I'm not quite sure why. I try to just dress very casual. I do my best to blend. I'm not standing out or trying to get any extra attention, but yet this situation seems to happen to me. And there is a car garage a couple blocks down that I've been very suspicious about, that I feel like somebody there is, like somehow, it's almost like this is gang related, and I feel like somebody there is keeping tabs on me, or having someone follow me when I come and go from my home, or they know when I'm coming and going and telling somebody else.
Yeah, I'm just going to do one thing in a past life. In a past life, you were actually a model. So this is part of where the infatuation comes from, because you honestly don't even need to try. You're absolutely stunning, right? And they're attracted to that, whether it's this life, past life, doesn't matter. It's you're shining that light to them, and they just want it. So I'm just going to collapse all timelines for you. I'm just going to eliminate certain things in this lifetime so that it stops creating for you.
Thank you very much.
So very welcome. So here's a suggestion for you. When you go and get up in the morning, I want you to change your reality of what you see outside of your door, right? So when you walk out your door, I don't want you to think about that garage. I want you to think, oh, I'm going to go to the grocery store today. Stop thinking about the garage. Stop thinking about that. Change what you see as your reality, and it will help to shift this stuff much faster, because we can change the timeline in which is in front of us. So here's an example. If there's a drug dealer outside of your door, when you walk out the door the next time, tell yourself there's no drug dealer there, and he won't be there, right? Start changing your reality.
Okay. That sounds great. I really need to do more of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Bye-bye. Take care. Hi, Miranda. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much. So glad you're on tonight. We're going to do some Akashic readings tonight. So that's looking at your past, your present, your future. So you can ask me a question of something you want to dive into. Maybe there's something in this lifetime that's kind of holding you back, and we can look at it and heal it and bring it forward.
Well, um, well, right now, my friend was found hanging in the front yard, and we don't know if it was a suicide or if it was a homicide type thing. Do you know if he was going through some things that he would have done it himself?
Yeah, it was definitely a suicide. He's standing right beside me. He's literally standing right here, saying it was a suicide. You couldn't have stopped me. Too much stress. Not enough outlets for him to disclose to. He felt alone, a little bit sheltered. It feels like a friend turned his back on him. So it's like that was like a breaking point or a breaking straw. He felt a little bit alone. A lot of heavy stuff on his chest. He's showing me like a hand on his chest, and he's like pushing on my chest, like down. So it's almost like every time he tried to get up, he got pushed back down. He's showing me some stuff going on in so esophagus, lower esophagus into the diaphragm, and then all the way down into his intestines. I want to say some kind of drug, but I like it doesn't feel like cocaine or anything like that. It just feels like he needed a way out. I think he tried before something harder and it didn't work. So this was the easiest thing he's telling me. He's also saying he did in the front yard so somebody would notice.
He said he did in the front yard, what?
So somebody would notice. Because I feel like nobody noticed him.
That's crazy. I thought the same thing.
Lots of stuff going on in his stomach. I don't.
He would be found. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are they doing an autopsy on him?
They are doing one now, and they're doing an investigation on it. And they reopened the case of my fiance, because my fiance was murdered on S Street, the road over.
I don't think they're related. Mm-mm. Too much. He's telling me too much pressure. There's something going on in his gut. There's something. It's hard as a rock. Kind of just want to show you. That's okay. So if you go, even just follow what I'm saying with your hand on your belly button. If you go to your belly button, inch from your belly button, center of your belly button, and then go over to the left, that is like rock hard in his gut for about a good 2.5, 3 inches to the side of his belly button. My stomach is like hard as a rock right now. Like I'm pushing on it, I'm like, that's not mine. So he's showing me is like something's not sitting well inside my body. So I feel like he tried to do something prior or something wasn't sitting right with inside of him. So that was part of all of this. But I mean, your fiance is saying here, he said it's not related. Not related. It feels like one was tied up with the wrong people, and it caught up to him. It didn't mean for it to happen. He's saying, like, he's yelling in my ear. He's like, I didn't mean for it to happen. Didn't mean for it to happen. I just feel like he talked to the wrong person and then was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that happened. But he's like distancing himself. He's saying not related at all.
That's crazy.
The other one saying nobody hears him. Nobody hears him. He's saying you guys need to listen. Did he leave a book?
Yes, that's what we're looking for. We can't find it. Like, we even had a group of friends break into this house that he was staying at and get this, like try to get this book, and they couldn't find it. They looked in the trash can and everything. They couldn't find nothing.
He's showing me in a drawer. In a drawer.
In a drawer.
It might look false. It might look false bottom underneath something, like, you know, in your silverware drawer, you put that plastic thing there. He's like, look under. It's in a drawer. He won't even stop telling me it's in the drawer. Like, he's literally hurting my ear. He's like yelling. He's like, you guys need to listen. You guys are not listening. Somebody in this group of all of you, family, friends, is psychic, and somebody is a medium and can hear messages from him. And he's telling me they're not listening. It feels like a female. He's saying a female with like a little bit longer, shorter hair than mine, a little bit wavy. She can understand. She is afraid to say it. She is afraid to speak up because it's going to make her look crazy from everyone else's perspective. But she can hear him. And he's saying, talk to her. She knows. Somebody has to start listening to him, he's saying. But he's also saying, like, don't be mad that I left. Like it was my choice. Right? So he's just saying, like, don't hold on to any of this stuff. You guys are, a lot of you guys are holding on to things, he's saying, and don't hold on to it. He goes, I'm okay. He goes, I'm at peace now. Everything is good. He's still holding heavy on the chest though. Did he have a girlfriend or somebody he loved and it like that kind of broke off or broke his heart a little bit?
Yeah, his baby mama.
Yeah. So this is weighing heavy on his heart.
It was like I heard that his daughter wasn't taking it very well, and that she was like, didn't stop crying and stuff like that. They hired an investigator and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it feels like he's watching her constantly. So they don't like, yeah, you don't have to feel like he's never there because he's always there. But he's saying like he's watching over them. You guys all have to listen more to him. Too much pressure. He just keeps saying too much pressure. He put too much pressure on himself. There was too much pressure in life. There was too much pressure for everything.
And is the guy that killed man, is he alive?
Can you say that again?
Is the guy around that killed man?
Yep. He's not far. No.
He was?
I would say within 5 miles. If you ask him to come in, he'll lead you right to who it is.
That's crazy because that's exactly what I said the one day, like the day before I had ran into the guy at race place. And the guy that I ran into at race place, he was only charged for this social also at the top of the motors, and he got out the very next day. I mean, not the very next day, so like 2 years later, and now, like the very next month, he's getting off the movie.
He's showing me the house where he passed over. If you go out the back door and go diagonal 5 kilometers, that's where the guy is. That's what he's showing me. 5 miles. You guys go at the back of where the house where he was found or wherever he was found. Like he's showing me a house. So go 5 miles out diagonal, the back to the right. And go 5 miles. That's where he is. He's showing me the house. It's a 1-story house. It's got a pitched roof. It's got a porch awning that comes out with 2 pillars and 2 steps. He's showing me it's 1 window on each side that's quite large. Well, he's going to take me inside the house. It looks like it's living room, and then there's a bedroom, kitchen's at the back of the house, and then washroom. And then as you go downstairs, there's a room down there with a basement. And then they're showing me in the backyard it's not too big, but I also feel like he's got like a pit bull because I'm seeing the yard is torn up and there's a chain, and he's showing me a dog. He's also showing me drugs in the attic. It smells really bad. It doesn't look like a very high-end neighborhood either. It looks like it's dilapidated. I would probably say that this guy's house is probably the nicest one on the block, but they all look in shambles. The yard is kind of torn up. There's no flowers. There's supposed to be shrubs, but they're like dead. There's not really a driveway. It looks like gravel if there's anything. He knows, this might not make sense, but I just have to tell it the way he's saying. The guy who did it is friends with somebody within the group. It's very distant though. It's kind of like you guys all met him once and then he kind of like buggered off. He is friends with this gentleman. Almost want to say like he's got braids. There's like a braid. There's a couple of braids coming off the head here this way. He's saying not all the time. When you probably would have met him, he's saying they would have had the braids. Does that make any sense?
Because that's exactly what I've seen in the back. I think it was three photos, one sticking up in every direction, or maybe it was four.
Yeah, he's showing me a car. Showing me a car too. It looks like a beige four-door car. It looks like it's older. I want to say a Chevy, not a Toyota. It looks similar. It's very boxy. Like the older style Toyotas were really boxy and square corners. This is same. It's beige. It's older. There looks like there's rust on the wheel wells and a little bit of rust by the bumper. The front looks like it's like a little bit crumbling, but still drivable. Nothing to be pulled over for, he's saying. The interior's a mess. Kind of like the seats are all cracked. The fabric is torn. There's a little bit of junk in the back windshield and a little bit of junk on the floor. Yeah. So yeah. That's all I got for right now. Thank you so much, though. I appreciate you joining me tonight. That was so awesome.
That is awesome. Do you think they'll ever stop, like, leaving me of it? Because it's getting to the point, like, it's crazy, you know?
They'll want to visit you. You just have to be ready for it.
What?
Everybody wants to come visit everybody. So if that was your question, if they'll come visit you, they will. But I have to let you go so that we don't get cut off. Thank you so much, though, for tonight. You're so amazing. I hope this helped you guys have some closure. Much love to you and your family. Thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honor. So much love to you guys all. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week.